Hello, everybody. It has been a long time since the channel has seen my face. This is gonna be, as I'm sure you can see in the title, something a little bit different than like a gameplay of a game or a devotional or something. About the devotionals, I plan on picking those back up starting tomorrow. Um, and I plan on doing those into the foreseeable future. I had gotten back from my West Virginia trip, and I fully expected myself to be back into the swing of things, but spending 2 months in West Virginia and then trying to acclimate back into how my existence happened and worked here in Florida was a lot harder than I thought. And so it was very strange. I felt like an alien, even though I was in my own house, back in my own house. So I'm sure you saw a few of the videos that I uploaded of the cat. Anyway, onto the subject of this video. I posted about this all on my social media, but after I had gotten back from West Virginia in early June, I was settling in, and as of June 29th, my girlfriend of over 2 years broke up with me. I've taken a little bit of time to recuperate and kind of think on it. I have a script here of something that I've been kind of posting on my social medias that I'll read off. And then I'll elaborate and kind of have some thoughts at the end. Won't be too long. As of today, Sela and I are not together anymore. I made our relationship quite open on social media, so I thought this would be prudent here. My heart hurts, but I harbor not an inkling of ill will towards her, and I will only hope and pray for her happiness, in her faith, in her relationships, in her personal and professional life. I only want her to do good. Over those 2 years, I don't regret a single moment, and I will cherish our time together forever. It would be misguided of me to suffer over someone who was so good to me, for it would be unfair to her. I still love her, and honestly, if and when she turns out happier, then I'm all for it. I truly mean that. It would be selfish of me to make the breakup about myself, strictly. We laughed and we cried and experienced so many memories together. Those were very good and still are very good. We went to concerts, a bunch of them, and saw so many movies together. Over 300, in fact. I had a whole list of every movie we watched. Most of them on like Netflix and things, but we saw quite a bit in theaters too. I find solace in God and in that, moving on to our next chapters in our lives, that I can hold on to those memories in earnest. I do not have a single negative emotion about our time together. I am glad we were together for the time that we were. While it hurts now, in the future, I can look back at how many cool and good things we did together. The first day, immediately after we talked and she had officially broken up with me, there was a short period before she had broken up with me where we knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of getting to each other and talking about it. And we had like an hour and a half conversation about it. But immediately after that, for that entire rest of the day and like the day after, I had been asking myself why. I had been just like, why did this happen? And it's a little funny to me now because she told me exactly why. I understand. I understood at the time, and I understand now why. And in my sadness, I suppose, I just couldn't see past my own face, I guess. And so sorry, I was trying to open a monster. I was just having the worst time figuring it all out. But I know exactly why. I had mentioned her here on YouTube before during some of my videos or whatever it is, and even some devotionals I had mentioned her name. But I never really posted like videos of us or anything. I posted the cat videos, but other than that. But I spent a lot of time that whole next day asking why. And I knew why. She did tell me that during that conversation for the breakup that it was not a fault of me. That I was just I was very good to her. But in the simplest terms, I just wasn't for her. And that she told me that I deserved someone who was unabashedly about me. No doubts or anything. I truly believe that was like, not that she was the love of my life. I mean that in my heart. I felt so solid and so comfortable with her. But if it is not in the cards for the Lord, then it is not in the cards for me. And I am totally okay with that. I am totally okay with that. I had posted the thing that I read out, I had posted that on Facebook, and then I had people like reaching out to me asking me if I was okay or if I needed anything. And for the most part, it was just those, and I said, no, I'm all right, I'll be okay. And they were like, okay, yeah, I'll pray for you, man. And I was like, okay, cool, great. But there was one where I actually got into a conversation with somebody, and I went a little deeper than I should have, admittedly, and I regret it now, but at the time, and I still think it is, but in the moment it felt insightful, and I still think it is. And it was just something that I have repeatedly upheld for myself in like my personal relationships with like my friends and my family and my ex girlfriend. But it was basically like, why did you let her do that? In essence, I don't want to dive into the big deal of what the whole thing was, but why did you let her do that? And ultimately, I don't restrict anybody that I care about from doing the things that they want. It would be very unkind, it would be very cruel even of me to tell somebody that they can't go do a thing or they can't hang out with whoever, or they can't, you know, go by themselves somewhere or something. They're not like we're not connected to each other, literally anyway. And that's basically what I told him. And then that he didn't reply. He read the message and didn't reply to me. But I would never do that. I didn't do that to Sela. I didn't ever tell her that she could or could not do anything. She was absurdly smart. I think she doesn't understand how smart she is sometimes, but she is absurdly smart. At one point, she had 2 different jobs and then ran her own business. She had a lot of money smarts. She knew how to manage her time very, very well. She was very routine. Every day, every couple of days, she would do a repeated routine of things, and then around like 2 or 3 o'clock she would be done, and then have the rest of the day to kind of do whatever she wanted. But she was very, very particular and very, very smart. And it was while I was in West Virginia kind of living with her, it was man, it was a thing that I saw, and I was like, wow, it's cool, but like it is like the complete opposite of me. I don't plan out my day or anything. And I know she had 2 jobs and had her own business, but I told her this to her face when we were having the conversation, that I wouldn't even want to. I don't even want to think about that. That sounds awful. But she did it, and she's still doing it. She doesn't have 2 jobs anymore, but she still has a job and owns her own business and everything. So she is very smart. Takes care of a bunch of animals too, so I know she's extremely caring and everything. And in those smarts, I believe very deeply that she is capable of making good decisions for herself. And if this is just one of those good decisions in order to further progress to where she wants to be, then so be it. Then so be it. I have thought a lot about this with all the extra time that I have. I've just been thinking. I've been doing a lot more music to kind of express myself. With all the extra time where I'm not like talking to her anymore. I've just been thinking. And I'm sure you can kind of get my reactions with this, but I enjoy talking about her. I think our memories were very, very good. In fact, I still have. We went to a carnival when I was in West Virginia, and it was really, really fun. It ended when we tried to get on the Ferris wheel and people skipped us, and they were the last people to be let on the Ferris wheel, and we were supposed to be the last people, and then she was kind of mad about that, but I thought it was a little funny. I thought it was a little funny, but whatever. This is that bracelet. I don't harbor any regret over our relationship. Because it was good. It was very good. In my time with her, I got to see my first Major League Baseball game. I saw that with her mom and dad, and that was awesome. That was a saw we saw it for her mom's birthday. That was awesome. I got to go to so many. We saw Knocked Loose and Loathed together in Pittsburgh. I uploaded that video to YouTube. We went together, and that was awesome. Drove all the way there. I worked from inside of her car. I turned my hotspot on my phone, and I worked from inside of her car. Took phone calls and everything. And it was very fun. Had her come to Florida the first time we ever met, because we were long distance, so we were traveling back and forth. Primarily me, but we did for the first little while travel back and forth. And she came to Florida, and it was like cool. It was nice. And then the next time for my birthday, I went there and traveled there and cried on the plane because it was the first time I ever flew, when I was like anxious. Went to Ohio, went to Kings Island. And it was good. Got to meet her niece and nephews and her brothers and her sister-in-laws. Got to witness Kat giving birth. Mabel had children. There was Costco. There was Tucker. All of them. MJ. All the times we walked to Dairy Queen. When we were in Pittsburgh, we went to this place called Burgatory, and it was like purgatory based, like themed burger joint. It was so good. We went there 2 times in a row because of how good it was. So good. I really did think that I was gonna marry that girl. I was so confident that I was. Extremely confident. But it is just not on the cards. I know I've kept the kind of reasoning around why she broke up with me a little vague. And I plan on keeping it that way. But the reason why I brought it up initially is because she told me that it wasn't my fault. Like, it was not a thing that I was doing wrong. That I wasn't, like, mean to her. She said I was very good to her. But I was just not what she, in very simple terms, not what she wanted. At least anymore, anyway. There's a lot more specifics that fall into that, but I will leave it at that for out of respect for her. I do not have a single negative feeling towards her. In fact, I was even in the breakup conversation, I was like, hey, if I am happy if you are happy. In my heart, in like the deepest part of my soul, all I want is her to be happy. Completely irregardless of whether or not I'm involved. I could be way over here. And if she is happy and is like flourishing and doing really good and following the faith and having cool business stuff and having good relationships, then yes. Truly. Like, yes. Why wouldn't I be? You know? And I am happy that we had our relationship for the time that we did. I love her. She is extremely important to me. Kind of set the standard, as it were, for how I should be treated in a relationship. And I am truly happy that we had our time together. I am still hurting. I'm still learning to get used to waking up and not have her call me on Discord or not text me or call me or something. I'm gonna wrap this up by saying that I will not grieve for what could have been. I will celebrate what was. Thank you for watching. Daily devotionals start back up tomorrow. I'll try to make that work. Those 2 years, 2+, it was like 2 years, 2 months, and 15 some odd days, something like that. But those 2+ years were 2 of the best years I have ever had. And I was happy to have her by my side through those 2 years. Through all the stress and the worry and all of the triumph and happiness, you know. I was happy to have her there. And I will be happy to see her do good well into the future. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate some well wishes and some prayers during this time of some healing, some recuperation. And I thank you for watching. See you in the next one.